Factor 9x cubed plus 18x squared minus x minus 2. So with this answer, or with this problem, what we have to do is the reverse of FOIL, pretty much. You've seen in one of my other videos, we had to use the operation of FOIL to multiply two binomials to find out what the answer would be, what the value for that equation is. But this one we kind of have to do the reverse. So FOIL stands for first, outers, inners, last. And that's kind of how we evaluate what the problem is. So for each binomial, what we kind of have to see is if we multiply the first set of numbers in each of these binomials, what we would get. So 9x squared times x would be 9x cubed. So we kind of have to look at the answers, and what I would do is look at the answer up here to kind of see what I can rule out from my list of options over here. And I see that I have a 9x cubed plus 18x squared minus x minus 2. So with those two negatives at the end, I know that I'm going to have one positive and one negative for the second part of my binomials. Because if you have two positive numbers, if you have a 9x squared plus something and then an x plus something else, you're going to end up with positive numbers at the end of your equation. But in order to have a negative, you have to have one positive and one negative. Because again, if there were two negatives, you would eventually have to multiply a negative times a negative, which you would end up with a positive. So anyone that would have two positives over here, I could rule out, but none of them do. But I do see over here that I have a 9x plus 2 and 9x minus 1. And I know that I can rule those out because I have a 9x cubed plus 18x squared here. So I know that I'm going to have to be able to multiply this 9x squared or 9x cubed. It's going to have to get multiplied by a 2 in order to get that 18x there. So the ones that have 9x squared and the 2 together, I can rule out. So those last two I can automatically rule out. And this here, I have 9x squared plus 1 times x minus 2. And that I can see would give me a negative 18. So I know that's not good. But what I would do is kind of play this first one out to see and make sure that it would work. So I'm going to do FOIL to double check and make sure this A is the right answer. So I'm going to multiply the first factors. 9x squared times x would be 9x cubed. The outside factors would be 9x squared times 2. That's two positives, so it's plus 18x squared. Then multiply the inside factors. Negative 1 times x would be minus x, and then the last factors would be negative 1 times 2 would be minus 2. And that does come out to be what we're looking for. So the correct answer is A. Thanks.